Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Chloe. Another Halloween look coming your way. For Halloween looks, I always have to have inspiration. I am not good at coming up with this shit on my own, so it's whatever I can find on Pinterest. This is what I have found for this week. I literally can't find any other pictures of this look or a look like it. Look at that, more like this, same photo. But like, there's zero other angles of it. I have no idea who the creator is. Oh my God, here I'm finding more pictures. This is so much better. Where was this like 10 years ago? Here is the best picture I can find of it. Now, I already went ahead and like ripped up pieces of newspaper and like burned all the edges. Oh, it smells so campfire-y. Although it's making a bloody mess. So I didn't actually burn any holes like in the center like she did, but I'm kind of like, should I? I mean, is it really a good idea? No, probably not. You should definitely do this in a safe space. Now look, this like, oh my God, I might do that. Task failed successfully. I'm pretty nervous and I really have no idea if this is gonna turn out, how this is gonna turn out. I'm gonna give it my best shot. So let's just get started. I have a different on theme headpiece this time. I'm gonna start off with my e.l.f. concealer. I've been breaking out so badly and I kind of feel like it's maskne. Stupid masks. Literally using the same concealer as always. I need something new. And I kind of wish the concealers like weren't so large. I really don't go through makeup that quickly. Like I wear makeup literally every single day of my life, but I still feel like I don't go through it that fast. Sometimes I feel like people go through stuff so quickly. You know what? I think it's that I buy too much to keep up with the cycle. I am gonna go in with my NYX contour palette. I'm gonna start out with this shade. Use it as my transition shade, and so just start in the crease. All right, I'm gonna go in with my Shade and Light palette. I am gonna go in with this deeper shade here. I'm gonna take this in the outer corner. I'm actually gonna go in with my Honey palette. I'm gonna take this shade right up here. I'm gonna use this on the inner third. I'm gonna take it all the way over to the dark. Okay, this might actually be a little bit golder than what I wanted, but you know what? I think it's fine. So your very typical 3-shade shadow look. I'm gonna go in with my Wet n Wild Breakup Proof liner. I am going to line my entire eye and we're doing a wing. I'm gonna go in with these lashes here. They are just Kiss lashes. I normally get them in like a 5-pack at Walmart. They're, I think, either 11s or 03s. I wanna say they're 11. I only know that off the top of my head because they were my OG lashes when I was in high school. I'm gonna go in and fill my brows a little bit with my Maybelline Tattoo Studio in the shade, I think I do blonde normally. Just the usual here, nothing different or out of the norm. Have you guys heard all of that stuff about like wire headphones coming back in style now? Because who was it? Johnny Depp's daughter or something like that was seen wearing them. And so now everyone's like ditching their AirPods again. Where I was like, oh man, I never switched to AirPods. I just like have had wire headphones since the beginning because I am too cheap to buy AirPods. I think it's funny that because one celebrity, it's like a thing again, which like not even that it was never a thing. Okay, I know this is a very like 2016 way of doing your brows, but I actually think I really like the way that it looks. I am just very slightly smoking out the lower lash line with my transition shade. I have this Laura Geller powder foundation in the shade Light. That's exactly what I'm gonna do, is a just super light layer of this. I'm gonna be really light layer because I wanna be mindful of where I'm gonna be putting the newspaper and the latex, and I haven't really planned that out yet. So I am gonna go in with my Milk blush in the shade Perk. I have been absolutely obsessed with this shade recently. It's just so much peachier than the other one that I have. The other one I have is just quite a bit darker. I'm taking just a little bit of that bronzer shade I used as my transition color, and I'm gonna use it as my bronzer. I have to get at the weirdest angle for this. Besides lips, I think that pretty much sums it up for the actual makeup part of it. So let's get into the latex and the newspaper. I actually think that I will do this like this. I think it's kind of cool. I'm gonna have ashes all over my room. So I've got out my little single-use sponge for my latex, and my latex literally pulled my air purifier a little bit closer and put it on a higher setting. So if you've been hearing it, I'm sorry, but latex is just so smelly. I need to make sure that there's good ventilation in here. This is literally how I get my latex. I'm nervous about how this is gonna go, so I am going to start on my collarbone. I want to make sure it's in a spot that's not going to move too much, because if I obviously move too much, it's going to not work. So I think I'm going to start by just putting this down first. And I don't know. Guys, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going for it. I'm just going to take this around. I guess I'm just gonna try taking latex really, really lightly around the edges. Okay, I think it's working actually. Do it underneath first to like stick it. That way the edges are already kind of flat. I'm trying to make sure that I don't drag it out too far, because I want to make sure I'm going to be able to cover up all the latex edges with the color. I don't even necessarily think all the edges need latex, but I feel like it's probably better safe than sorry. And I don't want to cover up the burned edges, but the nice thing about latex is that it dries clear, so that shouldn't have to be a concern. Oh, I need my dryer. I'm actually really happy with how that turned out, honestly. So now I feel comfortable like moving on up, and I think I'm just going to continue like going up. So I'll do the one on my neck next, so I can just gain more confidence with each piece of paper I put on, knowing that I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm probably gonna fast forward through a bit of this, so I'm just going to be applying the latex where I want the piece of paper to go, sticking the paper down, and then just kind of like going over the edges, making sure the edges are flat. And I'm going to be trying to focus the pieces of paper on places that don't like have a ton of expression and move too much, except for the one around my eye. That will be like the one exception. I'm just gonna go in for the big one because I really just want to get that one over with. I feel like should put the latex on the back of the paper, because then I know exactly where it's gonna go. Not exactly the way I wanted it to go originally, because I wanted to use this, but whatever. Also trying not to let the latex get too tacky for exactly the reason you just saw. I kind of wish I could move the placement of this one just a little. I wish I could like turn it. This is so stressful. I like that much better. I'm just gonna take my e.l.f. HD powder and I'm just gonna go around the edges. There's no real reason to do more than the edges because this is just to mattify the latex. Going back in with this NYX shade here, and I'm using the same brush I used to smoke out my lower lash line. I'm just gonna take this along all of the edges of the paper. I'm really trying to focus this on the very, very edges. I'm going back into the Shade and Light palette for this black. I mean, obviously you can use any black. I'm just doing the Shade and Light one because I'm already using the Shade and Light palette. And I'm using this super tiny brush for it. And this, I am only going to take right along the edges. I wanna make sure I don't overdo it. I'm gonna go back through in a few spots and just make sure it's blended. I feel fairly happy with that, so I'm just gonna go and repeat everything I just did there on the rest of them. And I'm gonna go in order to make sure that the latex has dried on these last final ones. Now I'm going to go through and just blend out all the edges. I just didn't want to contaminate the brush too much with black while I was still putting the brown on. Alright, I actually think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go in and do lips. I am going to go in with my NYX lip liner pencil in the shade Nude Truffle. I'm going to move as little as possible. This is very tight on my face. I'm going in with my Wet n Wild lipstick in the shade Never Nude. Then I'm taking my Revolution lip gloss. It's just a plain lip gloss. It's just the only lip gloss I could find in the store when I was looking for a clear gloss. It's from their Friends collection or something. It tastes like lip gloss from those palettes that you would get when you were a kid, like that kid's makeup, that's what it tastes like. Okay, I feel like I can say completed look. You know what's funny is I literally held off on doing this look because I did not think that it was going to be that easy. It was way easier than I expected. And in hindsight, honestly, probably the easiest way to go about it would just be to put the latex on the back of the newspaper and just make sure it gets to all of the edges. That way you don't have to put latex around the edges, because as you can see, because of the shadow, the latex edges actually kind of stand out a little bit more, and obviously you want it to look as blended and flush to your skin as possible. So that would be the only thing that I change, but otherwise I think that it looks incredibly good. I just added a little bit of char to the tips of my fingernails because it's all about the details, people. I feel like I can barely smile. I feel like I just got Botox or something. My face is so tight. All right, there we are. I'm super happy with how this turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you love it as much as I love it. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already and leave me a like as it really helps me reach new people. See you guys in the next one.